The crime scene itself was a bit messy.
She had no idea what was about to happen.
He brutally took her life. The reward for him as a top 10 fugitive is $250,000.
On a quiet night in April 2015, a Dunkin Donuts in Maryland became the scene of unthinkable tragedy. Bhadreshkumar Patel allegedly murdered his wife Palak just feet from where customers waited. And then he vanished, leaving behind a trail of grief, frantic questions, and heartbreak. For Palak's family and her co-workers, the pain is still fresh. Patel's last sighting was at Newark Penn Station, and with connections spanning multiple countries, the search continues.
We love and miss Palak very much.
I'll speak with Captain John Poole, retired Sergeant Kelly Harding, and the FBI, all chasing down every possible lead. They believe he's in this country. This episode reveals the latest manhunt twists, surveillance images, and the enduring hope that the truth will finally emerge. I'm Jon Leiberman, and this is The Forgotten Fugitives, shining a light on cases that have faded from the headlines, but not from the hearts of those seeking justice. For years, I worked as a national correspondent for America's Most Wanted, helping families and law enforcement find justice. And now we need your help again. Some have faces and names. Others are like ghosts who've left destruction in their wake. They are all forgotten fugitives. And with your eyes on them again, maybe they won't stay hidden for long. Joining us on this case, on the Patel case, Captain John Poole and retired Sergeant Kelly Harding from the Anne Arundel County, Maryland Police Department, and then we'll soon be joined by Special Agent Jonathan Schaefer from the FBI on the manhunt. But let me start with you, Kelly. What did you learn in the initial stages of this investigation?
So oddly enough, it wasn't a call. It wasn't a 911 call. One of the customers realized that the workers at the donut shop were not coming to the counter. So one of the customers went and found a police car nearby and alerted the officer that nobody was responding. And the officer went to the donut shop and he found Palak in the back.
It becomes obviously a homicide investigation. Talk about what you found in the early stages of your investigation about what apparently happened here.
So right away, we alert the owner of the shop, and the owner tells us who should be working, and he right away lets us know that they're a married couple. And he then was concerned that something had happened to Bhadreshkumar. We learned while we're searching the donut shop of their address, which was in walking distance behind the donut shop. And we sent officers to the house right away to see if something had happened to him. And we learned that he was living with another couple, his cousin and his cousin's wife.
And what happens from there?
So the crime scene itself was, as you can imagine, a bit messy. We learned from the scene that Palak's injuries were pretty substantial. They weren't the kind of injuries that you see every day. So as we continued to process the crime scene, we found a book bag from Bhadreshkumar that had all of his information in it, as well as Palak's. And we found cell phones on the crime scene that we later learned belonged to Bhadreshkumar. He was talking to her family on the cell phone just prior to the murder.
And do we know what he was talking to her family about? This is his wife's family.
They were arguing because Palak wanted to leave. She was homesick and she wanted to go back home. And Bhadreshkumar was not having it. And some of the family told me that one of the last things he said on the phone was, "No wife of mine is leaving."
So John, she wants to go back to India. He doesn't want to go. Talk to us a little bit more about the motive in this brutal killing.
Well, this is an arranged marriage, and we sincerely believe that Bhadreshkumar felt like he was being disrespected by his wife, Palak, when she said she wanted to go back to India. He had no desire to go back. He wanted to stay in the United States. And she was making arrangements with her family to have a ticket purchased for just her to leave him. And he, again, we think he took this as a sign of disrespect to him and his family, and he wasn't going to tolerate that. While we were on the scene, we actually collected surveillance footage from inside the Dunkin Donuts, and it did show both him and her on speakerphone on a cell phone. We do not have audio, but he looks extremely heated during the exchange with not only her, but whoever's on the other end of the phone, which was, we found out later, her family.
Was he here illegally?
His visa had expired. So he was technically here illegally in that his privileges here had expired. I believe they were in the process of attempting to renew it.
Kelly, I know that you actually retired, right? But this case is still near and dear to your heart. Tell us about that. Like, you're still on this hunt for this fugitive. What does this case mean to you?
Solving this case and bringing Bhadreshkumar back here for justice is more than just a closed case or a closed file. It means that finally that her family will get the justice that they have been waiting for, and it's long overdue. I'm very happy and very grateful that they continue to allow me to support our other detective that is still assigned to it.
I heard an audio clip of the victim's mother. We obtained this recording of the victim's mother from the FBI.
I want justice for my daughter. This was a clear betrayal on her husband's part for no reason. She just wanted to return to India. Our family will never be the same. We love and miss Palak very much. I am not losing hope. I am confident that one day Bhadreshkumar will be caught because everyone in this case is working hard for justice.
Clearly emotional, but can you all tell me how the family's doing and the type of contact that you have with them?
They're frustrated. It's been 10 years, and some of their exact words is they were expecting so much more from the U.S., but they are frustrated that he hasn't been found yet.
What would it mean, John, to you and to the department if this case were finally closed and this guy is brought to justice?
When you do this work for a while, there are cases that stick out in your head. They're all equally important, obviously, for the victims and their families. This was a particularly brutal murder, and our victim in this case did not see it coming. She had no idea what was about to happen in the seconds before it happened, when she was talking to her family simply about returning back to her home country because she was homesick. For her, for her family, for those that loved her, and even for the general public who, this gentleman's out walking the streets potentially, and if this little thing set him off and he was able to do what he did that night, what's to say he's not going to do it again? So with all those elements compiled, a closure on this would mean a lot to us personally, as well as our agency. Just again, like I said, for the victim, for the families, but also because of the work that's been put in to try and bring Bhadreshkumar to justice. We're very grateful for the FBI to have him on the 10 most wanted list, and the cooperation that we've had with them has been unbelievable. We've had numerous, unfortunately, unfruitful searches, but the fact that we haven't given up and they haven't given up and that we're able to collaborate and still work together to try and close this case means everything.
Well, we can certainly tell what this case means to both of you. Kelly, having been retired and still here on the hunt, and then you, of course, John, passionate about the case as well. We're going to turn to the FBI now for the latest on the manhunt, but certainly appreciate your time out of Anne Arundel County, Maryland. Thanks so much to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to turn to Special Agent Jonathan Schaefer. Jonathan, we understand that you all tracked this fugitive after this brutal crime to Newark Penn Station. What can you tell us about that?
That's correct. So we learned that in the hours following the murder, Bhadreshkumar Patel took a taxi cab from Anne Arundel County up to a hotel near Newark, New Jersey, where he stayed one night and then took the hotel shuttle to Newark Penn Station. There, when he got off the shuttle, he disappeared into the train station without any indication of what mode of travel he took. Agents and task force officers made every effort to track him without success at that time. We continued to get tips and phone calls from the public regarding this case, and those tips have continued to come in throughout the ensuing 10 years. We chase down every bit of information that we get, every tip, attempting to determine the whereabouts of Patel. He has not had any confirmed sightings or location in those 10 years, but we continue to ask for the public's help looking for him.
So he essentially vanished because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't appear that this was a premeditated crime per se. And so it's not as if he would have planned some elaborate getaway, but basically he's in Penn Station in Newark and then he just sort of vanishes, right?
That's correct. As best we can tell, the crime itself didn't appear premeditated, but the actions he took immediately following the crime clearly showed an intent to evade capture, evade justice.
It appears from the motive that this guy didn't want to go back to his home country because his wife wanted to go back. So is your best guess that he's still somewhere here in the U.S.? Did he have friends and other family somewhere? What do we know?
So we know that, as Detective Harding said, that he did not want to go back to India. Our supposition all along is that he has remained in the United States or potentially some other first world country. He does and did at the time have family at other places in the United States, and thus far they've all been cooperative. We have no indication that he received any assistance in hiding or evading capture.
I know when a fugitive is placed on the FBI's top 10 list that it is a top priority for the Bureau, not only with the amount of reward money that's given, but also with the resources put toward catching those fugitives as well. Talk a little bit about why this guy's on the top 10 list and what it would mean to apprehend him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as Detective Harding said, it would mean a lot to have justice for Palak. Palak, his wife, was brutally murdered that night by the one person in the world who she should have been able to trust to protect her. And instead, he brutally took her life. So we have dedicated and will continue to dedicate all the resources of the FBI, both here in the United States as well as internationally, in order to continue the search for Bhadreshkumar Patel in order to bring him justice. We greatly desire to bring the closure to Palak's family.
And Jonathan, what we know about fugitives is they can change their appearance, they can change what they wear, but it's awfully hard to change habits or certain behaviors. To help the audience track this guy down, is there anything we know that's extraordinary about his behaviors, or might he be working in a coffee shop now? Something like that. What do we know?
Unfortunately, we don't know a ton about Bhadreshkumar Patel and his background. We know that he had been in the United States at the time for a year, so if he's continued here, he would have a pretty good command of the English language, likely, and I suspect that he's found a corner of a community to fit in and blend in, and I suspect that someone out there knows who he is, and we just need to get his information in front of that person in order to determine his whereabouts.
And what can people do, Jonathan, if they have information about the whereabouts? Because, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, somebody knows something about where this guy is, and it would mean so much to that victim's family to get him behind bars. What can people do if they have information, and what is the reward?
Call 1-800-CALL-FBI, or they can go to the website, tips.fbi.gov or to their local embassy or consulate overseas with information regarding Bhadreshkumar Patel. The reward for him as a top 10 fugitive is $250,000 at this time.
All right. Special Agent Jonathan Schaefer out of the Baltimore FBI office. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time. We certainly hope that a good lead comes in.
Of course. Thank you for your assistance.
Patel is on the FBI's top 10 list. This automatically means a big reward and a priority for the Bureau. The reward is $250,000. You can do the right thing. You can make a difference by simply picking up the phone. The number for the FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-225-5324, or you can send your tip to tips.fbi.gov. And of course, you can remain anonymous and you can help bring justice to this family.